Ladies and gentlemen, gather around today. We're diving into that deliciously dark corner of the human experience, the part where disrespect meets regret. Ah, regret. A fine heavy drink, don't you think? See, some people think they can pour it out and walk away from it, but they don't know how it works. They don't know that regret doesn't just disappear. No, it lingers. It festers. It wraps its cold hands around your throat when you least expect it. You see, every moment, every breath, every action, it all matters. And for some, their fatal mistake is not realizing when they've crossed a line, when they've gone too far, when they've taken your kindness for weakness. I'm talking about those who don't understand that there are lines you do not cross, boundaries you do not break. They never saw the signs, never understood the weight of their actions, and that's where they made their fatal flaw. The moment they took you for granted, the moment they assumed you were like everyone else, a target for their little games, that's when it all changed. It was in that moment, that one fleeting second, that everything began to unravel for them. Because they didn't realize something. They didn't realize that this moment marked the last time they would ever disrespect you. You see, there is power in silence. There is power in restraint. We live in a world where we are taught to forgive, to be kind, to turn the other cheek. We are told to keep our heads down, to avoid confrontation, to take the high road. But what they don't tell you, what they don't teach you, is that there's a point where that kindness becomes a weapon. And when they cross that line, when they disrespect you for the last time, that weapon will be unleashed. And when it happens, when you finally snap, when the veil of patience that you've worn so long falls away, they'll realize too late. Too late for apologies, too late for excuses. You'll be standing there looking at them with cold eyes, your resolve so solid that they'll feel the weight of their mistake, like a hammer crushing their chest. They didn't see it coming. They never do. Because they didn't realize who they were dealing with. Some people never understand the kind of power you hold. They never know what it takes to endure, to swallow your pride, to keep your mouth shut when everything inside you is screaming for justice. They don't know the kind of strength it takes to rise above the noise, to be the bigger person, to remain calm when the world is chaos. And they confuse your silence for weakness. They mistake your patience for submission. And that is their biggest mistake. But what they don't know, what they can't see, is that every slight, every insult, every little act of disrespect, it builds, it accumulates. Like drops of water wearing down a stone, each little act of cruelty chisels away at the surface. They think you'll never crack. They think they can keep pushing, keep testing, keep trampling on you without consequence. But they're wrong. And when that moment comes, when the floodgates open, they won't know how to handle it. They won't know how to face the storm you unleash, because they never saw it coming. They never saw you for what you are, unstoppable, unbreakable. They didn't realize that their disrespect would be the final straw, that the silence they took as weakness was actually just the calm before the storm. They didn't understand that for every time they insulted you, for every time they belittled you, for every time they treated you like less than you were, there was a price. And now the bill has come due, and they will pay it with interest. What you have to understand is that when they crossed that line, they set something in motion that they couldn't stop. They didn't realize that in that one moment, that one slip of judgment, they gave you something more valuable than their apology. They gave you power. They gave you the power to walk away, to leave them in the dust. They gave you the power to rise above them and stand taller than they ever could imagine. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't this about revenge? Isn't this about getting back at them? No, it's not. This isn't about revenge. Revenge is for the weak. Revenge is for those who need validation. This is about respect. This is about making them realize the cost of their actions. It's about showing them that they can't disrespect you and walk away unscathed. This is about restoring balance. This is about you reclaiming your dignity and your peace. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to make a scene. No, the true power lies in your ability to walk away. The true power lies in your ability to stand tall and say, I won't let you treat me like this anymore. And when you do, when you finally make that decision, they'll realize that everything has changed. They'll realize that this moment marked the last time they would ever disrespect you. And it will be too late. There's no going back. This is the part where they start to feel it. They'll feel the regret creeping in. They'll start to question their actions, their words, their choices. And they'll wish they could go back in time, wish they could take it all back. But they can't. Because the damage has been done. They've shown you who they are, and now you know the truth. You've seen their soul for what it is, and you've decided that it's not worth your time, your energy, your respect. Now, you move on, you move forward, and they are left behind. And in the silence, in the space between your absence and their regret, they will hear the echoes of their mistake. They will hear the truth they tried to ignore. They will feel the weight of their disrespect like a heavy chain around their neck. And you will be free, free from their influence, free from their poison, free from their lies. So, the next time they try to cross that line again, the next time they think they can push you, disrespect you, or belittle you, remember this moment. Remember that this is the last time. This is the last time they will ever make that mistake, because they won't get another chance. They won't get to disrespect you again. Not now, not ever. You have crossed a threshold. You have drawn a line in the sand. And when you do that, when you take that stand, you change the game. You change the rules, and they won't know how to react because they never saw it coming. They never realized that this moment, the one where they thought they could trample on you, the one where they thought they could break you, was the last time they would ever disrespect you. And when they finally wake up to that truth, when they finally realize the depth of their error, it will be too late. They'll be left in the dust, alone with their regret. And you'll be moving forward, stronger than ever, untouchable. You'll walk with the power that comes from knowing your worth, from knowing that you will never again allow anyone to treat you like less than you are. The darkness? It's not your enemy. No, the darkness is where you find your strength. The darkness is where you find the resolve to stand up for yourself, to demand the respect you deserve, and to make it clear that disrespect will never go unchallenged. The darkness is where your power lies, and you are no longer afraid of it. You are no longer afraid of anyone who tries to diminish you. You are no longer afraid of what's to come, because you know that no matter what happens, you will rise. You will rise from the ashes of their disrespect, stronger, wiser, unbroken. So let them have their regret. Let them suffer in the aftermath of their actions. You've moved on. You've already won. Because they didn't realize that this moment when they thought they could walk all over you, would be the last time. And now, they'll never forget it, and neither will you. And as you stand there looking at them, with nothing but silence between you, you'll know the truth. The truth that this is the last time they will ever disrespect you. And that, my friends, is the greatest power you will ever have. The ability to stand in your own strength, to demand the respect you deserve, and to walk away when they think they still have a hold on you. Let them regret, let them burn, because you will keep moving forward, untouchable. And that is how you end this chapter, stronger than you were before. knowing that the last time they disrespected you, it was the last time, and nothing will ever make you shrink again. Nothing will ever make you bow. They didn't realize that this was the last time, and that is your victory. And with that victory, you walk away. You keep walking, moving into your future, knowing your worth, knowing that no one, not now, not ever, will ever make the mistake of disrespecting you again. And that is the final truth. So here we are, my friends. The world is full of people who think they can take, and take without ever giving. They believe they can manipulate the rules, twist the narrative, and treat others like pawns in their little game. They don't understand the gravity of their actions, the weight of their words, the consequences of their disrespect. But you do. You know. You understand what it takes to stay quiet when your whole being is screaming for justice. You understand the quiet fury that builds up inside you, the fire that is ready to be unleashed. They think that because you don't retaliate immediately, because you hold your tongue, because you wait patiently, they think they've won. They think you are weak, but they don't realize that you are the calm before the storm. They don't realize that you are holding back for a reason, that you're waiting for the right moment. And the truth is, when they push you too far, when they make the fatal mistake of disrespecting you one time too many, it will not be the loudest explosion that comes from you. It will be the silent, inevitable shift that happens inside you, a shift that cannot be reversed. Imagine this for a second. You've been wronged, hurt, humiliated even, but you've stayed quiet. You've endured, swallowed your anger, and kept moving forward. Every time they belittled you, every time they mocked you, every time they crossed that line, you let it go. Not because you're afraid of confrontation, not because you were too weak to stand up for yourself, but because you understood something deeper than they did. You understood that some people are so small, so insecure, so desperate for control, that they can only feel powerful when they bring others down. And so, you've allowed them to feel that fleeting moment of superiority, thinking that you would always be there to take the hits. But what they didn't realize is that their cruelty was digging them into a hole, one they could never escape, because while they were stacking insult after insult, disrespect after disrespect, they were laying the foundation for their own downfall. And the truth is, they were too blind to see it. Now, I need you to understand something. There are only so many times you can let someone spit on you before you finally snap. There are only so many times you can let someone push you down before you realize that your silence, your composure, is not about their power over you. It's about your control over yourself, your ability to decide when enough is enough, and when that threshold is reached, when you have finally had enough of their disrespect, you will take your power back. They won't see it coming. They will never understand the depth of their error until it's too late, until they're standing in the aftermath of your decision to no longer tolerate their treatment. They will wonder why you've changed. They will wonder why you no longer give them the time of day. They'll try to explain your shift as a temporary reaction, as an emotional outburst, but what they don't realize is that this isn't about a single moment of anger or resentment. No, this is the culmination of everything they've done, the product of every careless word they've ever spoken, the result of every moment they thought you were beneath them. They didn't realize that in one moment, just one moment, they had pushed you beyond the point of no return, and in doing so, they sealed their own fate. Because once you see someone for who they truly are, once you understand the extent of their disrespect, it's impossible to go back. It's impossible to unsee the truth. And the truth is that they never respected you, they never valued you, and they never understood your worth. And now, they will live with that truth every day for the rest of their lives. It's not about vengeance. It's not about getting back at them. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. You don't need to stoop to their petty games, because in the end, it's not the person who shouts the loudest who wins. No, it's the person who remains calm, who remains composed, who controls the situation. It's the person who knows that respect is not given freely. It is earned, and once it's lost, it can never be regained. You see, the greatest power you can ever wield is the power of walking away. To walk away from people who do not deserve your time, your energy, your respect. And when you do, they will regret it. They will regret ever taking you for granted. They will regret ever treating you like you were less than. Because when you walk away, you take something with you, something they can never get back. You take your peace, you take your dignity, you take your self-worth, you take your strength, and they will be left to wallow in their own selfishness, trying to make sense of the fact that you are no longer there to tolerate their toxic behavior. What you have to understand is that when they disrespect you, when they cross that line, it's not just a one-time offense. It's a pattern. It's a choice. They choose to treat you like you're disposable. They choose to treat you like you're insignificant. But when you stand up for yourself, when you finally say, enough is enough, you're telling them that you are not someone to be disrespected. You are not someone to be walked on. You are someone who deserves to be treated with dignity, with respect, and with honor. And the moment they realize that they will never have the power to hurt you again, they will be left with nothing but regret. Regret for every word they spoke. Regret for every insult they hurled at you. Regret for every time they made you feel small. And that regret will weigh on them, heavy as a stone, and it will never leave them. Because there's no coming back from the moment they cross that line. Once they disrespect you, once they push you to the point where you no longer tolerate it, you become untouchable. You become invincible, and they will know it. They will feel the weight of their mistake like a ghost haunting them. Because when you walk away, when you finally let go of the people who never deserved you, you release yourself from the chains that bound you, you free yourself from the negativity that kept you anchored to their world. And when you do that, you become the force that cannot be ignored. You become the kind of person that others respect. Not because you demand it, but because they understand that you will not tolerate anything less than the best. And when they look back at you, when they see you walking away with your head held high, they will feel that sharp pang of regret. They will realize that they could have had you in their lives. They could have been a part of your journey. But now, they are nothing more than a distant memory, a shadow in your past, a lesson learned. They will wish they had treated you better. They will wish they had recognized your worth before it was too late. But by the time they come to that realization, you'll be long gone, moving forward with your life, living without the weight of their disrespect dragging you down. And in that silence, in that distance between you and them, you will find your peace. You will find your strength. You will realize that you didn't need them to define you, to validate you, or to tell you that you're worthy. Because you already know it. You already understand your worth. And the moment they crossed that line was the moment they sealed their fate. It was the last time they would ever disrespect you. And now, they will have to live with the consequences of that mistake. They will live with the regret. But you will walk away free. Free from the chains of their disrespect. Free from their manipulation. Free to live the life you deserve. And that, my friends, is the greatest victory. The victory that comes not from fighting, not from retaliation, but from knowing when to let go and walk away. You've drawn the line. You've set the boundary. And now, there's no going back. You've taken control of your life, your happiness, and your peace. And no one will ever take that from you again. The last time they disrespected you, it was the last time, And that, my friends, is the moment that will define the rest of your life. Disrespect is a heavy burden to bear, but the moment you decide it's enough, you reclaim your power. The moment you stand firm in your self-respect, you free yourself from the chains that bind you to those who do not value you. And once you understand this truth, no one will ever have the opportunity to disrespect you again. You will rise above, stronger, unbroken, and unyielding. And they'll be left with nothing but regret.